Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and I appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And I just want to excuse my sinuses. Having a little sinus issue, so please, sorry about that. Started this morning for some reason, so got sinuses up. Was not happy. But I want to do I had a request for some help here at Mount Panorama, and he drove the 95%. He drove the Huracan EVO2, so I wanted to do an updated setup for it, and it's definitely good. I like it much better. I think it's going to be way more competitive of a setup. I'm really happy with it. It's got great pace, and it holds the pace too. I mean, it really is. Really happy with it. Makes me miss the Huracan. So actually doing a really good job with it. So it just gobbles up the mountain really good, and just you don't have to kill yourself doing it either. So we're gonna, again, this is going to be a longer video because he wanted help with so this is going to be, again, like I said in the title, it's more of a not just a setup, but it's a track guide. And as much as I can, and again, I don't know everything. I'm sure there's other guys that have other things too that are really good, so I'm not saying that mine's the only be all get all, but I'm just putting the information out in case, so it can help anybody. That'd be great. It's stuff that I do, and I love this place. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite tracks in ACC, and it's a challenge, and at night it brings a whole new challenge, and I just love it. I mean, you got to really be pinpoint accuracy here. You got to have a car that reacts really well. You got to have a car that you can have confidence in, because if you don't and you hesitate, you're in the wall. So it takes practice. It takes a lot of combination of things to really make a good lap, to really nail it. So again, I'm going to be going a lot of stopping, because I'm going to be trying to be very detailed about things. So again, excuse my sinuses. I drank something here to try to clear them up a little bit, but we'll see if we can go make a lap. Now, of course, I have 55 liters in it, like I always do. Temperature is about 23, I think. Now, again, I'm stopping, you could say here by the pole, but I usually just go off the 50. Because in the car, there's the 50. So you can see the pole there to the right, so you can use either one. I'm just usually concentrating on the 50 and my distance to that. The distance gap between where I'm sitting and the 50 is how I judge it. And on this corner, I go down to second gear. Let's put the HUD up. I go down to second gear, and you do not want to get on this curb, okay? The last corner and this corner, turn one, you do not want to get on the curb here. It will upset the car, and I don't think it'll wreck you, at least with this car, but it will definitely upset it, and you'll lose time. So you want to be next to it, but you don't want to hit it, and you want a late apex. You do not want to turn in early here, because if you do, you'll kill your speed and your drive coming off. So you want to do as late a apex as you can and get on the gas as early as you can. So let's see. So you see I'm still wide here, and I'm at the pole here past the 50. So you see how late I'm turning in. Now you see I'm right at the apex, right around the apex, and you can see I'm full throttle. And that's what you really want. I might blip it once or something, but you really want to get on the gas, again, as early as possible, since you have these long straightaways. And of course, you run it right out. You do not want to hit the grass. The grass will kill you. It will throw the car into a tank slapper. It'll do all kinds of stuff. But again, a fast slap is running it all the way out, even on the green part. Just know where your car is, so you're not in the grass. Be ready to upshift as soon as you come off that curb, because it'll be right on it right when you come off. So pretty much right when you're coming off the curb, you're going to be upshifting. I stay in fifth. I don't go to sixth. You probably will if you're drafting, but now again, right here where the sidewalk is, I go right to the, going past it when I'm on the brakes. So basically before the 50, right in this range here. And with the Huracan, now some cars you don't have to. A lot of cars you can go down to third and take this fine, no problem, like the BMW or, there's other cars, the Porsche, I think. But this car, you cannot. You need to go down to second, because if you go down to third, it just has no acceleration. So you might upshift really quick. So again, don't feel bad if you hit the corner good. Just, don't even have to look at the tack. Just upshift really fast. It'll just enough to get you that speed. So again, you don't want to slow your speed down. You don't want to slow it down going down to second. So you want to be quick about it. Go down to second. Again, you don't want to touch this curb. It's dangerous. You can lose time, or throws you into the wall. So again, don't want to touch it. I run it all the way out. Again, I'm running it all the way out over the curb, right next to the wall. Okay, and right here, basically where this gap is here, is basically your turn-in point. Now, you see how you're close to the wall. I mean, I'm as close as you can possibly get to the wall. You want the best angle you can. Now, this is a very important turn, or combination of turns. There's where a lot of accidents happen. A lot of things happen. It's blind. So again, when you got all the cars, you got to be very wary and back off. Don't go in there full bore. Or on cold tires, you got to be just a little bit, again, always cold tires. It takes a good couple laps for these tires to come up. So the first couple laps, you're just increasing. You're not going in all the way. But here, you want to basically turn in as close to this curb on the inside, not curb, but the wall here, as you can. But when the tires are cold, or when the tires are worn, it's going to make the car go wide. Okay, that's fine. Don't fight it. Don't just let the car do its thing. Don't try to pinch the car down. Otherwise, you'll probably loop it. So just let the car do its thing, but just be aware of it so you know it can happen. Now, when the tires are optimum and fresh, a lot of times I try to keep it down on the inside here, and we'll go over that. But again, this is your point where you're going to be turning in, is this gap over here. And every car is a little different. Some cars react different than others, but this is a good base to go off of what you can judge by. Again, see, I'm a little wide there. Again, this is like the 7th or 8th lap of this, and that's why I did my fast lap. So again, that's how happy I am with this setup. It's putting out the laps every single time, and it's just up to the driver to do it. So really, really happy with that. Okay. But usually I'm even closer than this. I'm right up against it and hold the car to the left. Either way is okay. So there's not a wrong way. So just let the car do its thing. If you're real close, that's fine too. Now see, I'm out here a little wider. I'm usually about a car length in. And the reason I do that is because you got people that will dive bomb you in here. And this is probably the faster way, having a little bit better angle and carrying more speed going up the mountain. But also you got to be aware, if somebody's right on your bumper, if you're being defensive right here on the inside, they can't get around you. There's no way. So again, just be aware of that. But again, I'm just letting the car do what it wants to do. And plus, the wider you are back there, the wider you're going to be here. So again, if I would have been right up next to the wall, I probably would have been a little bit more in. So again, that's just so if you miss that wall by a ton, you're going to be out here. So again, it's just that equals out here. Again, I try to not get on the gas as early as I can, run it right out wide. Now I'm going to follow this curbing. I don't want to be on it, but it goes around. I'm going to follow it and then straighten out to set up for the next turn. Basically run right up next to the wall here. And this tree is basically the marker. The tree is where I'm basically going to turn in. Now every car is different. Again, some cars react faster than others. Okay, so but this is the good base to go off of. Maybe just before the tree, maybe a little bit after the tree, but this is what you can base your judgment off of depending upon the car that you're driving. Okay, so again, I'm turning, and my goal is to be right next to this curbing. You can get on it. You can get on that, but it doesn't help you. But the best is run right next to it. That's the fastest. Okay, that's not bad. That's close. Because what you want to do is you got this room over here if you run wide, but it will slow you down. If you're over here and you don't even hit the wall, that at least that's good. But the point is you're going to lose time. So you want to be next to that curb so you don't run too wide here. Run next to there. Again, I'm in fourth. Again, I'm over here by the wall again, really close, and I'm pretty much looking at this white grating or whatever, white mark that's right here. Basically, I'm wanting to turn in and run right next to this curb. Again, it's a gauntlet, because if you hit this curb on the inside over here, you're done. You got probably about an 80 or 90% chance of either of wrecking the car. It will throw you into the wall, or you'll loop it. So again, you don't want to get on this inside curb at all cost. You want to, even if you have to lift, just lift, but just run right next to it. And again, same thing with the wall. If you hit the wall, you start playing the ping, the pinball game, bouncing off walls. So again, it's practice, practice, practice. That's really what I can say. But this is basically what I do. Again, I'm turning, and see, I'm right. I actually even touched the wall, or touched the curbing, and that's flirting with danger right there. But that's okay. If you barely touch it, that's okay. But if you get on it, that's when it'll tank slap you or throw you in the wall or whatever. But the Huracan's really good about it. So again, other cars are worse. Some are better, some are worse, but the Huracan's not too bad. Okay, now I upshift to fifth, if you noticed. So I'm halfway through the turn, and I upshift a little early to get into fifth gear, so I can basically monitor this wall so I don't smash into it. Okay, so again, if I have to lift a little bit, or if I can keep it planted, but I just upshift to fifth, so I don't hit the limiter. And again, right up next to the wall on the curbing there is fine. Touch this curbing, that's fine. It might upset the car a teeny bit, but you're just on it for a little bit, and then basically you're going to start turning to go down the hill. Now, some cars don't like this curbing on the inside. Okay, so take each car individual basis. The Huracan does not mind it. This thing is fine. You can get on it some. I mean, I'm not saying get right next to the wall, but if you get on it a little bit, it's no big deal. So again, really, really good drivable car. Again, I missed it there. That's fine, but I have got on it a little bit, and like I said, it's not an issue. Again, I got on that a little heavy, a little more than I want to, but again, that's just, if you're really looking for a great lap, you're going to have to push the envelope. You're going to use every bit of track, every end, whether it's one side or the other, you're going to use every bit. So again, usually, again, the Huracan's been really good about going on the curb. Just watch the grass. You touch the grass, and most likely you're going to be done. So again, try to stay off the grass. Again, I run it back over here to the wall, and to get the angle to go down the hill, down the mountain. I mean, beautiful. I love it up here. And again, every car is a little different. A lot of cars, you're braking earlier than this, but the Huracan, you can go in there real deep. And one of the cars that's really bad about going deep is the AMG. You got to brake in a little early, because the back end just gets real, even with all the wing that you run, the back end just gets too nervous. So again, certain cars, the brake markers, you got to back off a little bit more. But the Huracan, you can go in there pretty deep, and you see I'm on the brakes. I mean, I'm on the brakes just before the sign. That's deep. That's pretty deep. I run it right next to this curb again, or curb at wall, but be careful, because again, you touch it and you're banging off the walls doing the pinball thing. And I get on top of the other curb on the left. You want to get on top of it as much as you can, because you're trying to set yourself up to be on the left side over here. The more you are to the left, the better angle you will be getting ready to go down the mountain. Okay, so again, you want to be right on top of this curbing. Okay, I mean, I could have been even a little more. And I'm trying to set myself up to the left, and then you're going to turn in, so you're going to run this as close as you can to this wall. And sometimes the back end might slide out a little bit. Don't worry about it. Just drive through it. Okay, and again, then I downshift to first. There, I'm in second, then go down to first. Again, get this as close as you can to this wall also, so you can straighten the car out and be on the gas. You can see I'm full throttle right now. Run it down. Now, this is another turn where a lot of people have problems. Basically here, when the tires are worn, or when the tires are cold, like the first couple laps, before you even get to this turn, you just need to lift and coast around, okay? Don't touch the brake. Don't just get off the gas. Okay, don't drive it in there deep because you're not going to stop, and then you're gonna kill time or you're gonna run into the wall. So basically, what you want to do is when the tires are cold, just take it a little easier. But here, basically, I'm still, see, I don't get off the gas until a little bit later. Let's see, right there. See, I didn't get off the gas until I'm actually straightening the car out. So basically, but before that, if the tires were not up to temperature, I would have got off it before that and just coasted around. So again, you got to take each situation individually, depending upon your tire, the conditions of your tires, the conditions of the track. If the track is slicker, again, I would recommend not even doing that. I would back off before coming up to the turn and just go around the turn and then get on the brakes as you're going straight. Okay, so again, I make sure the car's straight. I'm on the brakes hard, down to first. Hold it as tight as you can to the wall and get on the gas. See, I'm full throttle now. And again, I've done this where, especially again, when the tires are cold, you get a little understeer here, you might touch the wall. So again, be sure that you're going to make it. The closer you are to the wall on the inside, the earlier you can get on the gas. If you're out here wider, you're going to have to wait a little later. So again, that's all just dependent upon where your car is in position. Again, I ran right to the wall. Again, like I said, when you're trying to get the laps, you're pushing every bit. It's got good speed. It goes over the bumps much better than it did with my other setup. Still not perfect, but much better. Okay, now here, basically, it's, again, you can see the 100. So I'm coming up on the 100. And it's not to it, but you can see the distance between here and there. So basically, you're halfway between, the 100 and the 200, or the 150. That, let's see. That doesn't show it. Might be the 150. So I'm halfway in between. So basically, and you can see there's a brown spot right here also. So it's really hard to see, and at night it's going to be even harder to see, but there is a little brown spot right there. So again, you're going to have to use your best judgment because, these things get taken out so easily, it seems like, in a race. Again, this is probably, to me, the heaviest braking of the whole track because you're going at such the highest speed and you're really weighing it down to second gear. And again, I try to stay off this curb. This curb is not friendly. If you barely touch it, it's okay, but you don't want to jump all over it. Now, all these other ones you can get on this curb, you can get on the other curb on the other side. So again, that was the only one. These other ones, you can run all over them. Again, coming up to here, on the brakes, halfway between the 100 and the 50. So again, right about halfway between. Now this turn, most cars is in second gear. In the Huracan, I'm in first. It helps the car rotate and just the way the gears are in the car. Okay, so I use first gear in the Huracan, so it'll help it rotate and drive coming off the corner. But almost every other car, the AMG, the BMW, the Porsche, I think every other car just about pretty much, the Aston Martin I use first. But I mean, pretty much everything else is second gear. So it really depends on your car. Most of them are second, but there's a few that first, and that's what the Huracan's first gear. Again, you do not want to touch this curb. You barely touch it's okay, but you don't want to get on it. You can see how high they are. It would upset the car a lot. And you can get on this one, no problem. Okay, so again, that was a lap, and that was a 201.97. And again, that was the 8th lap, if I remember right. We'll look at the timetables. Now, this is not my first stint either in this, so I've done many. Matter of fact, I already did a video on this before, but I just wanted to try some more stuff, and I got it to pick up a little bit more, and I actually like the car better, so I'm just redoing it. So I try to put out the best that I can. You can see here, there's a tenth of a second right there. That's even. So yeah, I can see it faster than this for sure. And always in a race in better conditions, you see it's 23. You know, if it was 18 or 19C and you had, you know, drafting, you know, you could be running way down in the 201. So again, I think a solid setup, and you can see that that's the out lap here. So you can see every lap. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8. On the 8th lap, I ran my best. But these other laps, I had 201s in the Delta 2. I just messed up. So again, it's up to me. But again, it was running really solid, really, really good. And I hope it helps as far as, you know, helps you with what to look for, where to turn, where to brake, all those kinds of things. Again, I think it really applies to all cars. You just got to, you know, adjust it a teeny bit here or there, depending upon the gear, depending upon the brake marker, depending, you know, on what car that you're in. But really, you know, this is what I go off of all cars, and I just adjust accordingly to how the car reacts. So let's go over the setup. Got 25.9 left front, 25.6 left rear, 25.1 right front, and 25.1 right rear. The toe's a negative 0.13 on the front with the camber at negative 3.6 and the caster at 13.3. The toe on the rear is a positive 0.1 with the camber at negative 3. Again, this is all really good. I tried negative 3.8, and it might help a little bit. So if you want to adjust it to that, that's fine. But what I did not like about it is it felt like it would understeer through the beginning or middle of the corner. It just felt like it would understeer a little bit, like it was not getting the grip it needed. And it wouldn't turn and react like I needed it to. And here, it's such connect the dots. You have to have the car react very fast. So you can hit those marks exactly, because there's just not a lot of, you know, we all know there's not a lot of wiggle room. So I didn't like that, so I knocked it down to here and made other adjustments, and I just like it better. Electronics 3, 3, 3, and 1. Again, on that lap, I actually had it as a TC2. I upped it to TC2 for that lap. So again, you can see I didn't slow it down. I ran my fastest lap. It was just, you know, near the, you know, after 6, 7, 8 laps, you know, you're not on qualifying rubber anymore. And I just didn't want the car to basically over-rotate. So basically, I just gave it another on TC2, and it worked perfect. So I did start off in TC2 with a 1, so just to help it a little bit. But other than that, really, really happy with that. Again, 55 liters, number 1 brake pad. Mechanical, got 5 front anti-roll bar, 60 on the brake bias, steering all the way down. Springs are 190,000 on the front with a 900 bump stop rate and a 3 bump stop range. On the rear, the springs are 154,000 with a 600 bump stop rate and an 18 bump stop range. Anti-roll bar is 6 and the preload is 120. Made of a lot of adjustments here. I've been all over the place, different springs, different bump stop rates, ranges, and I really like it tighter like this. I think it could take the bumps a little bit better if I opened up the ranges a little bit, but I also, as there's a flip side of that, the car doesn't react like I like it to. So the car doesn't react instantly. So I tightened them up a little bit, and the car reacts faster. So I like that, and I just tolerate the bumps. It still takes the bumps way better than my other setup. Much improved over the bumps. Other than that, everything looks good. Shocks, we got 5, 1, 10, and 20 on the front, and 3, 1, 7, 2 on the rear, all dialed in with Motec. And again, they came in good. Some pretty big adjustments here also. So again, another reason I think it takes the bumps better. Aero got 55 in the front, 62 in the rear with a 3 wing and a 3 in the brake ducts. And the front aero variation is a 4.4 to the positive. So again, this is a massive adjustment compared to what my other setup was. I think it had a 6 or a 7 wing or something. So again, huge adjustment compared to that one. And again, the speed really is a lot better. It runs 175, 176 down the straightaway with no drafting. So again, that's right there with all the other cars. So you're really not at any big disadvantage as far as straightaway speed. So I'm pretty sure, I think all the fastest cars are right around a mile an hour faster or less. So I mean, again, it's right there. So again, I'm really happy with that because that's the only weak point of the Huracan 2, but it actually does really good. It's got so much natural downforce that you just don't have to run a lot of wing here, and it still goes over Mount Panorama almost wide open. I mean, I can go over the mountain almost wide open, and if the tires are, if you really nail the spots and really push the boundaries, you can go over the mountain pinned. I mean, you can do that. You just gotta use every inch and hit your marks exactly, and you can go over it without lifting. Um, Other than that, that's about it. Again, I sure hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy this setup, as I think it's really good and very drivable. And I hope you give me a like and subscribe. And again, I really, again, I don't do a lot of these track guides, but hopefully it helps and really get you on the way to where you can conquer the mountain and run some personal best. That would be awesome. And again, I, always root for everybody to, keep improving. And it's always awesome when you feel that you conquered something and run a better time, and no matter what car you're in. So again, I hope you like the video, and I hope you come back and visit again really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.